Hey everybody out there in Heroclix land, welcome back to Talkn Clix. As always, I'm your host, Wespool. Joined with me is my co-host, Scott from Johnson & Johnson's. Our special guest tonight is Andrew Small. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. For everybody watching this, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. It does make a difference. I'm trying to engage the community a little more, so make sure you comment on our posts, ask your questions, just stop in to say hi. And we are sponsored by Clix creator, John Hoffner. He is a 3D printer, and he can 3D print anything you can think of at a reduced cost from everybody else out there. He started his 3D printing by looking at what everybody else is doing, said I can do that, and I can do it cheaper. So if you want a case or some tokens, make sure you check him out. So this is Talkn Clix, where we get to know the player behind the clicks. We're talking today with Andrew Small. You hail from Texas, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the number one question that I've been seeing now on the internet, and I really want to know your thought on this: 100 men or a gorilla? Who comes out on top?
Oh man, we're on this topic again, man, huh? Definitely. I think the 100 men will take it.
You think so? You think if
Yes, sir.
a gorilla barges into Heroclix for Huntington's and takes on 100 Heroclix players, that the Heroclix players can take them?
It all depends on the people you're with, right?
Yeah. What are you thinking about that, Scott?
Chuck Norris wins.
Chuck Norris? Still, or in his prime?
No, still. Chuck Norris
Okay.
still wins. I
Always.
seen a meme the other day of Chuck Norris playing chess. He had a pawn left and it said Chuckmate.
Oh, definitely got him.
Yeah, so Chuck Norris will win. But if there's no Chuck Norris, the gorilla wins.
Yeah. I always find these little YouTube or TikTok questions hysterical because they're so unanswerable. Like, is there more doors or windows in the world? Like, there's no way to know that.
There's more windows.
You think so?
100%.
Yeah, because the doors have windows. Some of them do.
So,
And then I would say that most dwellings, well, maybe no buildings. There's skyscrapers have so many windows. I'm gonna say there's more
I
windows.
mean, if you think about it, a peephole's a window.
Ah, that's not cool. Peephole is a window.
well, you think a hot dog is a sandwich, so what do you know?
It is a sandwich.
So, Andrew, tell us a little about yourself. How long you been playing HeroClix?
Going about 3 months to this point. Actually, going on 4.
Oh,
Yeah, started late January.
what got you started?
One of my good buddies, Pedro. I've known a good portion of my life. He's been trying to get me into it the last, I think about going on 2 years now since he got back into it, and I kept on putting it off, and finally gave it a chance, and I got addicted.
Nice, nice. So you know Scott personally?
Yes.
Yep.
So has he taught you everything he knows?
No.
He's taught me a good portion of things, but definitely a lot of guys at the shop give me a lot of tips, a lot of good, useful things to build off of.
Cool,
He would
cool.
have learned from me. He wouldn't have played what he played this last Monday.
Well, I learned how to roll your dice, so
What'd you play on Monday?
a lot of NCAT. A whole bunch
The
of it with
Mr. Freeze, so it actually does stuff. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. Ended up not going the way that I wanted it to go with the rolling to hit missing by 1 basically every single round, and was unfortunate, but good team nonetheless.
So is HeroClix your first foray into this kind of gaming, or have you done other games like this before?
Uh, I mean, I played a lot of tabletop D&D, so the whole map thing makes it a lot easier to navigate once you get the gist of what you're doing.
So, what is it about Heroclix that really drew you in? What would you really say? I want to do this.
It's a lot of the team building that goes into what everybody does, how, one piece works with another, putting two and two together, and then put it on paper, and it goes well, and then, keep on doing it, doing it, doing it, it gets better and better.
So
So,
he just recently started building his own teams. I would say in the last month he started actually putting his teams together for himself. So that first month or the first 2 months of him just coming and we'd bring him a team, it was like, hey, we have to give him a little sit down and on what's going on and how to play it. And he did really, really well his first 3 weeks there. So he just kept coming back to beat up more people.
have you been introduced to any of the other content creators in HeroClix yet, or are you still
Uh,
just green?
yep, still fresh.
Okay. Um, Talk to me a little bit about the learning process for you. How did they start you out, and kind of step by step how did they teach you?
First match I ever
deep,
played, I
deep
got I
in.
got Kong full dial, and I got told to smash. That's what I did.
Yeah, we handed him 300 point Kong and said, here you go. And yeah, he was beating people up. But no, we didn't baby him into the system. Normally, whenever we have a group of newer players come in, we'll have a breakdown of the game to where we'll do it no powers, and then we'll slowly integrate the movement power, and then the defense power, and then the attack, and then the damage. But we were getting ready for some stuff, and we're like, hey, let's just give him something easy to play, Kong, go smash, and he picked it up very quickly. Um, his learning curve was not. I mean, it was greater than what I've seen people. He went through it faster than what normally people do.
Sounds like it. So have you tried
He's
any? Go ahead.
he's got his nephew. Is your nephew Carson?
Yes, sir, Carson.
Yeah, Carson comes and plays as well, and Carson is I think 15, 14 or 15, and
He's
he
gonna be
doesn't
going on 14. Yep.
he doesn't come as frequently, but he's picked it up really well and really quick as well. So they must have some really good smart genes or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm super excited to talk to you and to see new fresh blood in the pool. The HeroClix was going strong up until COVID hit, and when in-play events shut down for a couple of years, HeroClix never really recovered yet. So we're rebuilding. I actually started during COVID is when I picked it up. So, but I'm super excited to see you here. There's an event called Adepticon where a major event, and a 14-year-old just won that. So your nephew is in good company.
Yeah. Sounds like a great thing with the young community coming into a game that was, older and, coming back alive.
Have you been introduced to different formats like sealed and battle royales and all that, or just basic casual 300?
Yeah, I definitely have. Yeah, after my first game, we did a sealed event whenever Spideyverse dropped, and I pulled, my first sealed I opened was actually Prime Awk, Cashback Awk, which was, amazing because I really like, the octopuses, and we done silver, modern, 400 point, 300 point. We done recently, me and Scott a couple weeks ago. We played a couple of his games that he put together, and we had a good time with that as well.
Yeah, he's the other guy playing the Exiles game.
Okay. So what would you say is the most frustrating aspect of learning the game from your perspective?
Uh, HeroClix literature.
Yeah, 20 plus years in the game, and I still have issues with it.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to put two things together that don't actually flow together in a sentence. So it's one of those things that playing Magic, you get baselines of what a sentence means, but HeroClix is a little different.
Yeah. They have their own
I
dialect.
Yeah.
So I got Hadar Yad on Monday, and I'm like, this shouldn't work this way. Even if you say you're gonna deal 0 damage to a guy and 0 damage to a guy and 4 damage to that guy way in the back over there, apparently 0 is less than 3, so you get to do 3. But to me,
Yep.
if you deal a 0 damage to somebody, that means nothing. But if you deal 1, 1, and 2, everything becomes a 3. It's just semantics of 1 extra damage to somebody.
Yeah. I was arguing with somebody about the new Captain America chase with the Coliseum, and it says when you start the game, you generate an arena token marker, but then it goes on to say 4 squares away from all map edges. So for me, when I was reading it, and other people have read it, it sounded like you're making 1 marker 4 squares away from every edge, and it creates a Coliseum. That made sense to me. But because where it says an arena marker is just 1, and it just can't be closer than 4 squares away from the edge. But it's worded really awkwardly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a guy pull it in our sealed event, our pre-release event, and I got to face him, and it was brutal. It was brutal.
So what's been your favorite piece so far?
Oh man, I would have to say Prime Octopus, definitely Prime Oct. He's crazy. He's crazy good.
Have
He
you
was a
kind
big
of
fan
stuck
of
to...
Juggerduck in our event.
What's that, Scott?
That he was a pretty good fan of Juggerduck during our 4-letter word event.
Juggerduck was very beat stick. It's very fun.
Do you change your team every week, or do you kind of stick to one team that you're familiar with and play it over and over again?
No, I change teams consistently every single week.
We don't have much opportunity to play the same team every week due to the formats that we toss out there.
Okay.
Which definitely helps with the learning as well when you're consistently playing with different pieces that you're not familiar with. Pick up what they do. You learn how to use different abilities that you don't use previously. I like to do close combat, and then after a while, a couple weeks later, I was using a lot of range attacks. Guardian of the Galaxy, Police, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I really like the Guardian of the Galaxy.
Well, a lot of people, when they start teaching somebody, they tell them to stick with one character or one team and play it religiously until they know it front and back. And then they move out into other combinations and powers. What would you say is your strength so far in your team building?
I really don't stop on HC unit until I get what I really like. So I want to say there's a huge benefit. It's just I keep on playing and playing until I get everything perfect the way I want it to be, even though it's not perfect. But that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's perfect for you.
Scott, a good teacher?
No, we have better teachers than me.
Well, he's fun anyway.
Scott's great.
My normal game with the new player is I lose the first game, no matter what I try. I'm like, I'm trying to give them a nice game, or if I'm trying to play hard in the paint and just try and beat one of them. No, it doesn't happen.
That's your excuse, huh? You let them win?
I don't let them win.
Oh.
They just beat my face in.
It's not a lie. The first game I played, I think it was against Scott, and I think I 300-0'd him.
Yeah, you bodied me.
So what's your day job?
I work in pharmacy.
Okay, so
Legal
you're a
drug dealer.
drug dealer.
Yes, sir.
Any military experience?
Nope. Not from you, no, sir.
What does your wife think about this hobby?
That doesn't really bother her, honestly. I get to show her pieces.
Yeah.
She thinks they're cool. Exactly, yet.
Have you bought a full
rubbing you
brick
into,
yet?
like-
I'm sorry,
Oh,
one
yeah.
more time?
Have you bought a brick?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Have you
I
bought a
opened up.
case?
Yes, I bought a. My first case was collector, and then I recently brought the SAD, which was probably a really good set in my opinion. I'm a big fan of the brutes.
Are you gonna try to get your wife to play with you?
No, probably not. Oh, that's not something she'd be interested in.
Uh, Tell us about some of your experiences at the venue. What are some of the games formats you've tried and people you played against? Any good memories you've developed so far?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's been plenty of games that around the edge, along the ropes that have you really on your heels, and then you're let down or you know overly ecstatic by wanting to get out of the situation. But there's definitely a lot of memorable times, especially let's say against Drew, which is a big coach. He's a bigger guy at the shop that helps out everybody a lot. Excuse me, and help me with team building, etc. All the time. Call him at 1 a.m. He answers any questions you got.
What is
Yeah.
something that
Solid teacher.
what's something that you would like to see us as veteran players do differently to uh, coach new players and get new players into the game? What's something that uh, you'd like to see done better?
I personally have no complaints about the veterans at our shop at Alter Ego. Everybody there is 100% willing to help you and everything else. I have not had one bad experience yet, so I couldn't really answer
Great.
that question for you honestly.
Hey, what could we do worse?
Uh, Probably whoop our ass more if y'all wanted to.
Look, okay, I know the first month it's like, here, we're gonna force feed this team into your face. It's as a veteran player trying to teach new players, is trying to figure out what your play style is. You learned that during the four-letter word event because Vincent made teams that you adopted, and one was very smash and destroy, and the other one was very I don't know how you want to put that word, finesse maybe. And I thought
Yep.
the team was good, but you could not play it, so that would be not your play style. So
Yeah, that's still part of the learning process, though. I mean, you can't fault a veteran player for doing so, especially on a team that they built specifically for themselves. So it's a always a learning curve.
Um,
we haven't got him into the practice for if we're going to go to an event. It's usually like a solid month of like, hey, we're going to have our main event, but if you want to show up early or you want to just practice for the event, we're just going to play that team or get you ready for that event. So he hasn't experienced going to an event yet, but when he, like, I'm sure he's going to go to the next states or the next WKO if we ever get those again, or something close by within like 2 to 3 hours. So he hasn't gotten that grind yet. Or
is there
that, hey, come to my house and we're going to practice for 8 hours.
is there any events coming up in your area?
Not
No.
close by, no.
You should start one.
I should. I mean, I used to do it at the Comic Palooza, but that got expensive and it wouldn't help me out with getting people into the door.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, this community, one of the things that HeroClix prides itself on is a sense of community. So for you to say everybody was warm and welcoming and nice, that's what the overall community strives for at all levels, from beginners to world champions. Everybody tries to be as warm and friendly as possible. So I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah.
So you say you play on Mondays?
Yes,
yes.
sir. Every Monday.
So what are you building for this Monday?
I'm building a brute theme modern 400, which it's ran by Vengeance Hulk from the Legacy card. I was brought back from this set, so hopefully things will go well with it. Finally finalized it today. Has a She-Hulk, Hulk Vengeance, Has Titania, low dial, just stand back line, be a chill leader. Help out all the brutes, take less damage. We got Quicksand for ESD, and hopefully it goes well the way I pictured it.
I won't be there, so sorry. I get to go to Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, after that, I'll be down. You just had to run away. I know. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, tell us a little bit about where you're going and what you're doing.
I work for pipeline maintenance. I'm a safety professional, and I also dabble back into my old stuff of pressure testing pipe. We're going to go do a pressure test on a pipe in Cleveland, Ohio, about 3 miles. A pressure test is basically you clean the line and you put either inert gas or water into it, and you put it up to 3 times its normal running pressure, and hope it don't pop. If it pops, it makes a mess. Even with air, it's like making a pipe into a water balloon or a balloon, and when it pops, it's going to make a mess, throwing dirt or people or whatever around.
How long have you been down there?
If it doesn't pop, I would say 4 days, maybe a week. If it does pop, then we just keep fixing it and testing it until it stops.
So
Hopefully that resolves quickly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I gotta come back and beat you down.
being in pharmacy, do you think you'll be once you get better at Heroclix? Do you think you'll be drawing people in, saying, "Hey, come play with me on Monday"?
Oh yeah, definitely so. I think it's a great experience for anybody that's likes tabletop games.
You need to get some Hulks or some Captain Americas or Spider-Man and Superman and put them on the counter. When people come up there, be like, "What's that?"
Oh yeah, pass them around to all the little kids. Yep.
So how long you been in pharmacy?
Going on 10 years now.
Oh, cool. Are you like a Walmart kind of pharmacy, or you're more private?
No, it's a small business. I graduated from corporate to small business, and a lot better that way.
Yeah. You guys have any kids?
So-
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask. Andrew is your name, but you don't like being called Andrew.
Oh,
We have another Drew at our shop, so we don't even get to call you Drew. We called you New Drew for the first month, and now it's Andres. So
Andres.
he goes by Drew though,
Okay.
or New Drew to me. He's still New Drew in my phone.
When I first started, there was 2 cams. Eventually, it started with just 1 cam, and then another Cameron joined the group, and it was right when the Disney Plus Loki show was on, and so we just called him the Cam variant or Cam 2. And
That's nice.
even though the first cam
You're the
doesn't play,
variant.
even though the first cam doesn't play anymore, he's still Cam 2.
But we had, for a while there, I had a Chris F. And then we got another Chris F. And I couldn't keep calling him Chris F, so he just got called C2. He's still C2 on my phone. He still comes and plays from time to time.
Let's see here. I don't know. What questions do you have for him, Scott?
I would ask if he's played on Roll20. If not, you're going to when I'm out of town. That's all I can say.
There you go.
Get used
I
to
didn't
it.
know there was an online option to do so.
It's not really online option. Think of it. Roll20 is made for like a D&D tabletop type game.
Yeah.
But we can take the gridded map and it puts it on a gridded system, and then you just copy images of the figures and you put them on there, and you refer back to HC units or HC realms whenever we first started playing on Roll20. It got real popular during COVID. Like we had a world championship from Scott Crampton put on it. We could have worlds that year, even though it wasn't sponsored. It was sponsored by Scott Crampton and I believe the ROC. So we had our worlds. We just had to play from the comfort of our homes.
That's a good way to, be able to do so with the thing you enjoy, the thing you love.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same because you're not getting the figures, and it's just a digital version of it. but it really, really helps with learning placements and the timing of teams. I feel like those are two very overlooked things in the game is placement and timing. And timing can just be how many actions you have, how you go through your turns. I feel like there's a lot of stuff missed during the timing. To me, it's a timing phase.
Now, that's
If you don't know,
definitely my issue, ongoing of placement and timing.
There's
placement is either something you just naturally gravitate and get. Like I feel like I've never really practiced placement until I started looking at it. I'm like, oh wait, hey, if I can count the range out, I can predict where they might go, or what their reach is going to be with their sidestep and TK and perplexes, and I know how far I can go out. And then as the game goes, you just kind of feel where you need to be, along with knowing how that person plays against you. If you're playing at your venue, if you're going to an event, good luck. The
Yeah.
placement helps you out, but it's the timing is probably the secondary thing to the game. Is figuring out your spacing of your actions and what order you need to take them in.
What I like Roll 24 is we do this thing called theory crafting in Heroclix where we look at HC units and we put a team together. We go, oh, okay, this looks great. This team can win. And that's going on in such that everything goes right. That you hit every attack and all stuff. And then you put it on the board and you're going, no, this doesn't work at all.
I definitely had one or two of those type of situations when I was learning early on. Might look good on paper, but put it on the map, it either goes one way or complete other.
The other thing I like is that, like, this guy goes to Cleveland, he can take his laptop, whatever, and we can connect from across the country and get some practice in, even though that we're thousands of miles apart.
No, we're only going to be like 4.5 hours apart now.
Oh, yeah.
So if I have a day off, I drive over.
I don't know what else to ask a new player because we've covered everything.
I mean, probably not everything.
Everything I could think of.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
I know that's the reason you like me.
Is water wet?
Wow, good question.
Yes.
Do fish get thirsty?
No.
Okay. I know that you're only in the game for 4 months or so. Would you say that you're a better builder or a better pilot? Or still trying to figure it out?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I said, the whole placement thing is definitely. That's when I play. I don't look who the other team is playing. I don't pay attention. I play my game. I just I see what my characters do. If I see a figure I'm familiar with, oh yeah, I know this can prob. I know this can outwit. I wait till it's actually actively happening. I guess it's more instinctively.
Something else that you haven't really got any practice with yet. I like to talk to the guys whenever we're prepping for an event is threat analysis. Like, you don't get to practice against everything. You don't see everything. You don't own everything. You don't know what the interactions are going to be. But if you can identify what those threats are going to be or how they're going to come at you, then do you go after the big guy or do you go after the support? What are you going to go after? So the threat analysis is another phase of the game that people totally don't understand in the game. Some people. I mean, I feel like, to me, I would build a team and I would have the guys play it. And this was Savage Land Magneto. I don't know if you know who that is, Wes. He starts the game and you roll a d6. And if you roll a 3 up, you get to take a piece off of their team of 75 points or less. If you roll a 1 or 2, they get to donate a piece, 75 points or less. And they go off the board for 3 turns.
Wasn't there a Doom
3
that
of the
did
Magneto
that?
players' turns. What's that?
Wasn't there a Doom that did that? Or something similar?
No. That, as far as I know, it's just Magneto that takes them away to the Savage Land for 3 turns.
Okay.
So, to me, that piece was a very good use for threat analysis because it's like, what can I take away? What's their linchpin? Do they have multiples? And there was a Star Trek guy that could take away equipment. before you started a test. You just had the equipment out on the map. It says, "Oh, hey, I'm just going to move that over here to my side." So it's just a complete threat analysis team to be like, what do you need to look for to make it work for you?
So, Andres, would you say you're pretty familiar with the PAC at this point, the Powers and Abilities card?
Oh yes, yeah.
What was the hardest one for you to really grasp? The hardest power?
I definitely say the. So it took me a moment to adjust to the power, like close attacks, flurries going into with the like super strength when I was first learning. I thought super strength would be better on dial than what it was. Obviously, it's still very good, but just figuring out a lot of the close up, the range, attacking adjacency, things like that.
Capital range versus lowercase range.
Yeah.
So, do you prefer to play a tentpole type team where you have one big guy and a bunch of little support around him? Do you prefer the one man army or a complex little smorgasbord?
I like the complexity of it.
It's hard to build that way at first.
Oh yeah.
Do you think you're more aggressive or defensive? I know the answer.
Uh, Obviously it's a little bit more aggressive side.
Oh, okay. I got a question for you. Do you feel like the store has a tempo? Like, is there certain players that are aggressive or certain players that are defensive, or is it all just the same type of stuff?
A lot of the guys at the shop play very strategically. I'd say, Grover, for instance, he's always trying to mollywop unless he's just doing something silly, with leadership, what he's been doing the last couple of weeks with the Captain Americas. But
Yeah.
he's very aggressive style.
And Dominic, aggressive or defensive?
He's been playing a lot more defensive in recent history. So I'd say defensive at this point.
Hey, what's a witch's favorite school subject? Spelling. Hey, why did Captain America wait so long to pick up the Mjolnir? He didn't want to steal Thor's thunder.
You have two dice in your hand right now. Crit hit or crit miss?
Probably crit miss.
Have you experienced a lot of crit misses?
I did on Monday. Yeah.
How about crit hits?
I'm sorry. One more time.
How about critical hits? Have you gotten any of those?
Oh yeah, definitely. more crit misses than critical hits, I would say though.
So how do you go to the venue? Do you put your stuff in a box and take it all, or what do you carry it in?
I recently graduated up to a big old tote that I got from work, and all my stuff fits inside of it. So I've been carrying that around since this last week. Not having a big collection is very easy to carry everywhere.
Now, if you stick with it, I strongly recommend contacting Clix Creator, where he can get you one of these really cool boxes with drawers and compartments. That's magnetic, and he's building bigger and better ones. And he can, mine is Deadpool, obviously, but he can build around any of your favorite superheroes or anything you want. He does it super cheap, so it's a good way to show off your style while you go to play Heroclix.
They look very nice.
What is your favorite superhero?
So, are we talking about villain or super villain, superhero?
Let's take it to pop culture. If you like, it could be anime, cartoon,
Okay.
Voltron, Power Rangers.
I think Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the Goblin, that was fantastic.
Did you think that his reprisal in the new Spider-Man movie was as good as his original Green Goblin?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I felt like you
No.
kind of phoned it in a little bit.
Yeah,
Have you seen the new Thunderbolts?
I have not yet. No,
I haven't
I
either.
plan to. It looks great.
I haven't heard anything bad about it. I'm looking forward to it.
And I'm out of town.
So I'm actually. Funny thing is, I'm not really big into superheroes or all
Oh,
that stuff. I picked up Clix just because the intellect that goes into it. It's very fun. That's just the figures that go along with it.
so you said you had some D&D background. Have you been shown the D&D Heroclix yet?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
all the iconics. Yeah.
Yep. That's something that they've been doing the last couple of years of getting different intellectual properties involved in Heroclix, and that's the newest one, and it's been real popular.
Hey, I'm not well versed in D&D like I used to be when I was in my youths. Who would win in a fight? The beholder, the mimic, or the displacer beast?
Probably the beholder.
And then the owlbear's coming out this summer, apparently.
Yeah, it'd still be the beholder. He topped that.
All
And
right,
he has the
so
most points out of them.
was that?
He has the most points out of all of them.
So 100 versions of Scott versus a gorilla.
The gorilla.
The gorilla.
The gorilla.
All right, so a segment I do on the show is called the Clix Questionnaire. I dove into the AI generator. I talked to the KEVIN from the She-Hulk show. We developed this series of questions to really dive into the brain, the soul of a HeroClix player, so the community can really know who you are. Are you brave enough to answer these questions?
Sure, shoot.
Best sandwich.
Turkey and cheese.
What do you got, Scott?
Dry? I'm just asking, is it dry?
Oh yeah.
A dry sandwich? Oh, okay. That's you. One power on the PAC that you would change.
I'd probably say teleport and
Raise and
fate.
teleport?
Yeah.
What would you want it to do?
I would like it to act more of a a more powerful sidestep. Instead of
Okay.
using an action, you get a little bit more movement out of it.
DC or Marvel?
DC.
What you got, Scott?
I got your most used character. Not necessarily a figure, just your most used character.
Uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's a hard one to answer, Scott. I don't got that on top of my head.
I mean, at first it was Kong, but now it's not. You've been building for yourself for a
Yeah,
while.
that's what I'm saying. It'd probably be Prime Up because I've been changing things a lot, very, very
Yeah.
often. So it's been non-consistent.
What's been your favorite? Well, you say you're really into superheroes. Have you watched all the MCU movies?
Yeah, I have.
What's been your favorite?
Definitely, probably the
Eternals.
I'd say it's still Infinity War. I would say. I think Infinity War was great.
That's been the popular answer.
Okay, back to HeroClix. Since you just started building for yourself, what is more important to you when building? Is it the character, what the dial does with the powers, or the stats?
I definitely say the dials and the powers.
Gotta go for stats first, man. I want to teach you. I'll teach you. You don't have good stats, then the powers won't matter.
Well, typically, if you have the dial with the powers, stats will go along with it.
Out of the people at the shop, who is the best team builder?
Oof, put me on the spot. And,
Right. You don't have to pick a favorite. You say you.
no, I honestly think it's Morris. I think Morris likes to build funky teams that work out very well.
And he pilots them well.
Yeah.
Who's been your favorite person to play against?
I'd probably say a lot of close games with
Pedro.
Morris. Nah, Pedro's fun. Pedro's fun to play against, but Morris is definitely he puts me on my heels, and he always ends up winning. But I'll get him one day.
Have you beat him yet?
Nope, I have not.
So, since the superhero aspect isn't a major driving force for you, do you see yourself playing this long term? That's not a real enticing part of it.
Oh yeah, definitely so. Like I said, I like the building part of it. I like the brain power that has to go behind it to make it function and work properly.
Vanilla ice cream.
If
What
you
do you put
could.
on top?
I like my vanilla ice cream, probably with a little chocolate drizzle on it. I'm usually a very plain Jane guy. I don't get anything with toppings. I usually don't get ketchup fries, anything else. I just like it the way it is.
Since you're new to this, you probably don't know. World's champions used to get to create a figure or help design a figure. If you got to create a figure, do you have a character in mind, or is it going to be something from D&D or?
Uh, yeah, would probably do something along the line of like the silliness of like Jeff the Shark. Just doing something with him to make him, a little funky.
There already is a Jeff the Shark.
Well, just a different version of him.
Um, since Heroclix is uh, absorbing other intellectual properties like D&D, the whole or Kong, stuff like that. What is a property you would like to see in Clix form?
Um, I mean anything that would be, say like anime wise, we got One Piece out there. I think that'd be pretty cool. You know, there's a lot of popular things like Jujutsu Kaisen. That'd be pretty cool. Just anime characters put into HeroClix would be pretty fun, especially with some of the abilities that they have.
Would you ever be willing to travel for a major HeroClix event?
If I actually felt like I had the ability to do something in a tournament like that, I definitely would. But just for the experience, I definitely would. The first time.
First time, the learning experience takes you from like, oh hey, I'm making strides at the shop, and then you go to the big event where it's like, oh, these are actually gonna compete, and you go in there and be like, I'm gonna win, I gotta win, and then by round two, you're like, I just gotta win a game. So you go in there as you're playing, your mindset changes. But you're learning, you're taking those lumps to learn to get better at the next event, and you'll see a large growth after you've gone to an event. Like
Oh
you'll
yeah,
start.
definitely so.
If you don't see it, the players around you will see it. Your locals will see it as you've gone to these events, and you'll start growing and getting better. And you won't even realize it. It's just going to be a natural occurrence to you.
That's definitely why I wanted to go to that awesome event when I first started. When I was first learning, just to get my hands on different people that we don't play normally from the shop.
Yeah,
See how
the
other people
regional that
play, the
got.
experience. Yeah.
I mean, it was a rock regional or something got canceled because they only put like 2 weeks of scheduling on it.
Would you say you still have fun even when you lose?
Oh yeah, that's
Good.
even losing, you get a learning experience out of it on what you can do better next time.
There's no losses in HeroClix. It's just learning.
That's right.
There
Um,
are bad beats that suck, and rolling a lot of missing by ones and crit misses in the games can be hard to swallow. But you just take the lumps and come back the next week.
Usually after, if I take a big loss, I'm talking to the person I just lost to, asking, what made you think about putting this together, asking about the pieces. So, I get a little piece of their brain put into a team that I make.
I find personally it's easier to take a loss when I just lost to a better player or I made an honest mistake and they capitalized on it. But if I just lose because I can't hit a 4 or 5, I just crit miss over and over. That's a little hard to swallow sometimes. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
That's normal Mondays.
only time I ever get upset is when I get upset with myself for doing something I shouldn't have done, which blows the whole game. Of in a winning situation, then I threw myself in a losing situation, and then I just get upset with myself, and then have to figure it out next time and do better to make this mistake.
What
I got a
advice would
different
you give
question for you.
to a new player? If somebody came into the shop on Monday and it's their first ever time playing HeroClix, what advice would you give them?
Have patience. Have patience, and don't just get upset after a game or two when you're not actually getting the grasp of it. You gotta sit there for a month or a couple weeks, a month to actually figure out and get that click in your head. Like, oh, this is how this actually works. This is how this functions. It's definitely have patience.
Talk to these guys. They know what they're trying to teach you, maybe.
How long did you play
Um,
before you really felt like you had a grasp on what was going on?
Um, Baseline, I'd say about 2 3 weeks.
That's
And
pretty
then after
good.
that, it was just all the intricacies of how this ability works with this character and how does map placement work and everything else.
That's pretty good.
so your venue that you play at, would you say it's more competitive or casual or a mix?
Our venue is definitely more a mix of casual and competitive, more competitive than casual, which is also the pushing point of always wanting to do better. If you play casual too long, you start getting easy within your wits and not wanting to do better things, just building silly teams, things like that.
And you have the competitive while playing casual?
Uh, with myself, yeah.
Um,
I got
so
one.
go ahead.
Do you have a favorite scenario or game that we've had at the shop yet? Or at my
Mm,
house?
yeah, think about that for a second. There's definitely been a lot of games that I enjoyed, and I probably can't compile them right now, but
So you
there's
played
definitely
Exiles with me. How was the Exiles game?
the Exile games was unique gameplay, which was very enjoyable, I would say.
So I talked to you after the game how we had our pieces in point value order and we were selecting the tokens. So if you drew a 10, you're like, oh, hey, it's going to be my weakest figure. Going back through that, I would change it to where you put them in alphabetical order, definitely. And then you draw the token and you don't know what the point value is of it. You just know it's in the restrictions of it's got to be under 125 or 120 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, it felt like that during our game. I redid it later and it was like, we should have done it with the alphabet instead of the
I
point
mean, it's
value.
always fun knowing what's coming towards you whenever you pull that number. Oh, I pulled number two. Oh, it's gonna be a very strong piece. I got to figure out how to deal with that.
So Thanos snapped his fingers. You blinked your eyes, and it's been 5 years. You disappeared for 5 years. Life went on without you. How do you deal with that? Your wife has moved on. Your friends and family have moved on. You're all of a sudden back. And how do you go forward?
Well, it's
Grab
all
your
about.
box and come play Heroclix with me. 'Cause I'll still be there.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be the life continues. It doesn't just stop where I put my foot down 5 years ago. Just got to keep on living life. There's no reason to sulk or hold things back. Just continue living.
I gotta think a new question. That one's getting old.
Instead, that one's hard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really hard. So, if your wife moved on, or what if your wife got snapped? What are you doing for 5 years? You don't know if
I
she's
mean,
coming back.
yeah, that's definitely
You
a
grab your
terrible
box of Heroclix
circumstance.
and you come play with me.
Yep.
Well, another one that I thought about too is, um, so life life is like it is. All of a sudden, we find out that we're not alone in the universe. There's a alien living among us that can fly, that's bulletproof, that's invincible to everything. Do you trust him to just be a hero, or are you more like Lex Luthor and question his incentives?
And definitely something that'd be out of my range. Definitely the Lex Luthor portion of that. Get to know him, probably play some HeroClix with him if they would be into that.
You got anything else, Scott?
No, I think I'm good. What color was the dress? You
What
not know the
dress?
dress?
Oh, the
The
white and
black and blue, the white and
yeah, black and
gold.
blue. Yeah, it was it was white. It was white and gold.
Really? That's not what I saw.
Not the one I saw.
Oh, forgot my favorite question. Nobody's got this right, and Scott is dragged out of me a hint that it's 3 digits. What number am I thinking of?
342.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Drew,
mark that off my list.
that's been the Clix questionnaire. Now the community that's watched this really knows you. They know your soul. They know your intentions. How does it feel?
I mean, I'm an open book majority of the time, so it doesn't really bother me. You can ask everybody that I know personally. I'm a very blunt person. I don't lie. I'm more blunt than most people would like. So, I mean, complete open book.
Okay. Scott, do you have any final thoughts today?
No, I just want to tell him thanks for coming on. You asked for a newer player. I'm like, hey, we got a guy that's
Yeah.
been like 3 months in the game, so let's. I got one if you want one. And you said, hey, pull the trigger, let's get him.
Absolutely. I love seeing
So-
new players. It's very exciting for me. For the longest time, I've been the newest player, so, so I'm excited.
So I am going to Cleveland this week. So my schedule may be a little wonky, but if there are any locals that want to play a game of HeroClix, please hit me up. I'm interested.
Safe travel, Scott.
Drew, I don't know if you do much traveling with your job and stuff, but in November is a second annual Red, White, and Clicks event. It's an event that I started around Veterans Day, and it is a nonprofit fundraiser for veterans. Last year was the first year we raised $4,000. I know it's a long drive for you, but I'm trying to talk Scott to come in so maybe you can carpool with him. But I prize out really well. If you just walk in the door, you're walking out with convention exclusives and chases and all kinds of cool stuff, custom dice and custom tokens. But it's all the way up in Indiana. So if you can make it up here, carpool with Scott or something. It's in November around Veterans Day. But that's
Ready?
been
Yes, sir.
that's been Talkn Clix. Drew, do you have anything you want to say to the community?
Just keep them going, have fun, and again, have patience.
All right. Well, Drew, I'm super happy to have you here. I'm super happy that you're excited about HeroClix and you're bringing in other new players. This game needs new players. We need fresh blood. So if there's anything that I can do from here to help you out, I'm glad you got Scott there. He's a great teacher. He's a great guy. Looks funny, but he's a good person.
Speaking of looking funny, I just colored my hair. It's purple and green.
Can't see it in the camera.
I can see that.
I mean,
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that looks nice, Scott.
it suits me better than what I've been rocking for the last 2 years. So people that have known me for a long time know that this is my style.
I'm clean
what day
shaven
is
all the
Veterans?
time.
What day is Veterans Day? What day is that event going to start?
So it's November 15th and 16th. Veterans Day is a few days before that, but it's the closest weekend after Veterans Day. So November 15th and 16th.
Yeah, Veterans Day is the 11th.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, this has been Talkn Clix. That was the Clix questionnaire. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. It really does help. We just hit 60 followers. You know, I get close to 80 people watching. I don't have enough people subscribing, so make sure you click that subscribe button. If you want to sit here and watch us talk, you can listen to us talk on Podbean. We have the audio version there. You can just listen to us in the car or while you're washing dishes. Make sure you check out Clix Creator. Often will make you anything you can think of 3D printing, and you do it way cheaper than anybody else.
Check out that casual corner that you dropped last week, because it was the Exiles format. So I would like some feedback on it if y'all have anything, because I'm always looking to make them smoother.
Yeah,
right?
Casual Corner is a great segment. If you go to our YouTube channel, there's a Shorts button, and it's under the Shorts, or I add them on to the end of this regular episode, and they're always posted in Facebook. So, but Scott has all kinds of great formats like Exiles that you can just watch how you do it, and then you can take it to your venue and copy it.
Roulette's coming next.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Well, everybody,
Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad to meet you, and hopefully we can roll dice in prison someday.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody out there, this has been Clixing It, and as always, keep on
Clixing.
Clixing. Yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
You too.